All right. Just let me know if you can see the screen. All right. Thank you for confirming. Okay. So now let's get on to this. What does personal excellence mean to you? It has a personal in its in the statement because it has to be a personal thing to you. All right. So now let's understand, how do we usually define excellence? How, what is the usual thought process about excellence for a lot of us, for most of us? Okay, so this is how it is. This is how it goes. The first thing is, uh, one of the easiest ways for us to define excellence is looking at someone who inspires us, looking at someone and saying, wow, this guy or this girl has done something awesome which I don't know if I can ever do in my life. If you look at what Neeraj Chopra has done, what Abhinav Bindra has done as Olympic gold medalist in individual event, we get inspired looking at it, right? But what are we doing after that? So these are the factors that determine how we usually think about personal excellence. All right, this is one of the ways we start defining. Second way is, trying to become like our idols. A lot of times, um, let's just take this example again, right? So let's say Sachin Tendulkar is an idol for Neeraj Chopra, and Chopra is trying super hard to master the game of cricket, to become a master blaster like Sachin Tendulkar. Do you think it's possible? Maybe it would have worked out, but what if that's not his area of passion? What if that's not his area of excellence? What we end up doing is, all right, we compare ourselves with our idols, and then start thinking, why am I not good enough? All right, we start tagging ourselves as not good, or I'm not worthy, and stuff like that. So this is one another way where we start defining what excellence means to us. This is the second point. The third point here is, conforming to society. A lot of people, let's say within your family, or growing around with your neighbors, you might start thinking, all right, maybe IIT is not for me. Maybe IIT is not meant for me, because it takes a lot of grit and a lot of effort and all that. Probably I'm not built for that. Probably sports is not my thing. Probably this is not my thing. Probably that is not my thing. Because we are constantly fed these thoughts and ideas into our mind, that we as a group cannot achieve something. Therefore, we start conforming to those society norms. If you have conformed to any of those norms, just type I have in the chat box. And I have done it so many different ways, so many different times, because I was not, I was not open that time to coaching, or getting trained on a personal development topic and stuff like that. Okay, if you've done this, just type have done it in the chat box. So this is the one of the other ways where we start defining personal excellence. The fourth way we define personal excellence is, comparing our chapter 1 someone else's chapter 10. For example, let's say you are working with someone, and you saw that this person, although is of same age as yours, got the promotion and the next promotion and the next promotion. What do we usually think? I joined this company with this person, or this person is of the same age group as me, but he or she has gotten into the next level or next position. What are we doing to ourselves? We have no clue about what kind of journey they have gone through, what kind of personal development they are going through, and therefore we start comparing ourselves. Our chapter 1, you might be just starting off on this journey of personal development, or skill building, or productivity, or high performance habits. You might be just on your step 1 or 2 or 3. But if you start comparing yourself with someone else's chapter number 10, or step number 10, because they have gone through so much of learning and growth and experimentation in their life. You're going to start defining, all right, that is exactly what excellence means. Therefore, I'm not being excellent. You got what I'm saying? Just type EXC in the chat box if you got what I'm saying. Okay. So now let's go on and understand personal excellence. If you're ready for it, just type RNR. That's for rock and roll. If you're ready for it, just type RNR in the chat box. All right. So we just understood what how we usually end up defining excellence by looking at our idols, but by comparing ourselves with someone else's growth, all these things, by conforming to the society. Okay. So now let's understand personal excellence. So here we go, right? So the first thing is, what is personal excellence? This is your benchmark about excellence. How you think about excellence in your terms. You got this, just type PE in the chat box. This is your benchmark, your personal benchmark about excellence. The second thing, what you have to understand about personal excellence is, this can change in the future, because now you're going through your own journey, your own exploration of personal journey, personal development and personal transformation. Therefore, your benchmark of personal excellence can change over time. Right? It's bound to change over time, because whenever you're pushing yourself to the next level and to the next level, your limits, or what you define as great, as excellent, will also keep changing in the future. Got this? Just type got it in the chat box. So this can change in the future. Your definition of personal excellence can change in the future. The third thing you have to know is, this is based on your current identity or the self concept that you have for yourself. Uh, one of the laws of lid one of the laws of leadership is called the law of lid, which says that you cannot lead someone, who's above your level of excellence. When I say above your level of excellence, it's not because someone is not good at something, or some or of that sort, but because they do not have the practice, the habits, the tool sets, the mindset to get to that level. All right. When even in your professional life, even in your career, you will face this, that you'll probably understand that you cannot lead someone who's already there at a very high level of performance than what you are. Okay. So this is something you have to know. So therefore, it's on similar note, if your self identity is something small, your level of excellence cannot be really bigger than that. It'll Even if you try to have a personal excellence standard which is much beyond your self identity, you will end up performing a little less than what you had thought about, because it's because of that identity that creates that excellence, and taking action and experimenting and taking risk and all those things. Right. So uh, the more you work on your identity and self concept, the higher is going to be your benchmark of personal excellence. So if you got this, just type got it in the chat box. Let me just take a very quick break, a 10-second break. Let me just take a sip of water and come back. If you got it, just type got it. All right. So now that we have, thank you, Indranil. So now that we have an understanding of personal excellence, let's understand, why is it necessary. Now, just put it in the chat box. Why do you think it's necessary to have your own standard of personal excellence? Why should I not look at someone else and say that I'm not good at it, or I'm not excellent at it? I think I told the answer in the question itself, right? So that you do not diminish your own values, so that you do not diminish your own self concept, your own self identity. So that's why you need your own benchmark of personal excellence. So now we are going to I thought we'll do this activity next week, but let me share what it let's how to define our personal excellence standards. And next week we are going to come back and create our standard of excellence. Or you can actually do this, take this as a homework between now and next week. I want you to define your personal excellence benchmark. All right, so let's look at what it is. And it's not very strange to you. You have already gone through this, because this is what we do every single week. So what does personal excellence benchmark mean to us? Let me give you an example. Let's say health. How many of you watch WWF or some crazy Hollywood movie where they have, all those big kind of mountain kind of biceps, and then you start thinking, will I ever get a six-pack ab, and start diminishing our own self? If you've done this, just type done that in the chat box. Else, is just mention not me in the chat box if you've not done this. So we fantasize things, right? Media sells so many things, and we think, okay, this has to be the benchmark of being healthy. But what we are trying to do now is to create our own benchmark of personal excellence. So, for example, my benchmark of personal excellence when it comes to health is, in the morning, am I doing 15 minutes of stretching? Like, because I work from home and I sit a lot on my desk, I tend to strain my back a little bit. So morning, 15 minutes of stretching focused on my back and on my lower back, that's a non-negotiable for me. I cannot negotiate that with myself. Evening, 45 minutes of walk all by myself, either in the out or in the park, which is nearby to my house. If I do these two things, that's a benchmark for me for personal excellence when it comes to health at this point in my life, given the current situation, current conditioning, current whatever setup that we have with our life. So that's my benchmark when it comes to health. So is that enough? May not be. Is that good enough to have a low body fat ratio or anything of that sort? May not be enough. But at this moment, that's what I am defining as my personal excellence benchmark for health. So now the question I have for you is, are you ready to define what it means to you, what it means to have personal excellence when it comes to health on a daily basis? So this is the activity I want you to start doing. So let's come to the next one. As I said, these are all not new to you, but because you do the weekly exercise every Wednesday. So when it comes to mental emotional state, what does personal excellence means to you? So you would have, if you go on to YouTube, you'll see people saying, okay, I can read 200 pages of book in 5 minutes. That's a mental power that I have. But if you constantly keep defining no personal excellence of your mental ability to that, you're just diminishing your own self, right? So the idea is to not diminish yourself or not to expand yourself in front of others, but to understand that we are all, even in spiritual sense, right, we are all uh, kind of spiritual beings on a human journey. Therefore it's a plain playing field. There's no higher up or there's no low down in this game. If you got this, just type got it in the chat box. So what is your personal benchmark when it comes to mental or emotional state? For me, it's about as soon as I get up in the morning, 15 minutes of meditation, mindfulness practice, and every time I complete a major activity, and before I shift on to the next one, I have to do uh, the energy generation practices. I have to do some kind of 2 minutes or 5 minutes of meditation, so that I like clear those mental residues from the past activity, and so that I can get back to the next activity stronger, mentally stronger, emotionally powerful. What does this mean to you? You have to define this. Okay, so just like that, we have all the other 10 areas: relationship or spouse. For example, when it comes to relationship with my wife, uh, am I spending uh, some spending time having some great experience? Maybe it can be going out or going on a vacation on a quarterly basis with my wife. That's a benchmark that I've set now, personal benchmark for relationship excellence. And in order to do that, just a couple of days back, we just had a 1 day outing, and it was just very refreshing and rejuvenating for our relationship, and personally also, but more so for our relationship. All right, so uh, who you have in your life, what is your benchmark of personal excellence is when it comes to relationship? Just like that, all the other categories as well, when it comes to uh, friends, when it comes to your mission, life experience, spirituality, finance, learning. Can you just pick one of these things and put it in the chat box? Give me that category, and then just put in the chat box, how do you define your own benchmark of personal excellence in that category? Can you please do that? Just take a moment and do it. And the rest of the 9 things, you can work on it this week, and we will discuss, or I will bring you on next week, so that I can really we can go through it and discuss a little bit further on that. All right, are you ready for it? Just type ready, pick one of these categories. It can be health, mental, emotional state, family, friendship, anything that you want, and just define. For now, it can change anyway while you do the other activities. It can change, but for now, what does personal excellence benchmark mean to you? How are you defining it? Put that in the chat box, and once you do that, mm, I will get I will move on to the next item for today. So, and what you also have to keep in your mind is, you might think for the moment, am I playing it small? Uh, for me, health is very important, but just putting in the personal excellence workbook, saying just 15 minutes of walking or 20 minutes of walking, am I actually playing it small? Well, as I said, it's going to be determined by the kind of identity that you have, the kind of self discipline that you have. A lot of factors is going to determine what is your benchmark. But there is always has to be a starting point. So it's okay to start small and then keep having those incremental improvements in whatever area. All right, so Indranil says, for mental and emotional state, I have set a target of meditation, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. Excellent. So that's your benchmark of personal excellence. So uh, don't get bogged down by someone else doing something else on the media or social media or wherever it is. It's okay to start this way. So can I have a commitment from you all that you will complete all this 10 areas and you will define your excellence benchmark before we come back tomorrow, before we come back next week? Just type committed in the chat box if you're ready to do this. Is really going to help you have absolute clarity on whenever those conflict of interest happens within your mind. All right, so my mission, you can have weekly mission, monthly mission, mission for life, can be anything. My mission, for example, my mission is, uh, did I live, did I love, did I learn? So by the end of my life, if I ask these questions to myself, did I live, did I live to my fullest, did I love my people, my community, who matter to me in the most authentic way, and did I learn on a daily basis, so that there's a everyday improvement, everyday personal transformation happening, I think I'll be more than happy to breathe my last. And you need not have to do it at the end of your life, because we understand high performance habits now. You can do this on every single day, on a daily basis. So That's the power of living intentionally. All right. So I really want to appreciate if you're committed towards this. So now, thank you for all your comments. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to get on with our weekly quiz. And after weekly quiz, I want this action from your end. All right. So after you complete the weekly quiz, please go on to our Telegram group. This is very important. This is a way that you showcase that you're ready for contribution. Uh, Go to the Telegram group and just share what were your big learnings from today's session. It can be anything. It can be one small sentence. It can be one big paragraph. Doesn't matter. But please share what you learned through this session today. All right. So please inspire someone to take action. So that's what I'm saying. And when you also just go and type there, it's going to reinforce your own learning as well. All right. If you're ready for this after the weekly review, just type TEL in the chat box. That's for Telegram.